Right. Good morning, everyone. All the online students. Is that the screen is visible? All the online students. Could you please everyone respond in the chat window? I request all the online students need to respond in the chat window. Okay. Right. Perfect, guys. Let's get started. Right. So the one we have been discussing about these particular concepts of functional testing. First, we have been done with functional testing. After that, we have been done with right. First, we done with functional testing. After that, we have been done with, I will be taking with this particular API testing. And then we got database testing. Now, continued with AI testing here. So, what exactly this particular concept of AI testing and how these particular concepts need to be done? Let's see that. Okay, right. Let's look into this particular concept. Right. Done. Now, as part of this particular aspect of AI, a lot of confusion has been created in the market related to this particular AI. So, what exactly this particular AI, how AI concept came into the picture? See that. The very first understanding and the basic understanding of AI. For the next 2 to 3 sessions, maybe like today, tomorrow and after tomorrow, or like 1 or 2 sessions, you will have any theory sessions only, which mandatory of we have to understand all these particular concepts here. And after that, I will be taking into more practical sessions here. Like today and even tomorrow also, we will be taking with the theory concepts here. But even though it has been theory concepts, which has been very most important here. Okay. So let's see that. Let's look into that, how we can confirm. Right. Now, see the concept here. If I just go with this particular AI, the full form it will be taking with artificial intelligence. If I just go with that particular aspect of the full form, the common full form of AI mentioned that artificial intelligence here. Okay, right, done. Now, the meaning or the general definition, the meaning or the general definition of AI, we can say that human simulation, human simulation, okay, human simulation with machines. See the name, in the name itself, it has been clearly mentioned human simulation with machines. The meaning of that particular statement is as a human being, what are the activities we are performing? What are the activities we are performing? The same thing, the same thing we are doing, right? So, what are the things we are performing? The same thing, it will be simulated. Nothing but it will be replicated by machines. So that is how you got a concept of AI. It's not like any new concept here. To understand this in a very simple way, the best example you can consider that performance testing. If I just go with this particular performance testing, in common, the general meaning of performance testing, we can say that page load time. The general meaning of performance testing, we can mention that we can go with that particular page load time. How much time it was taking to get load that particular page. So how much time it was taking to get load that particular page, that will be taking with performance testing. Okay, now if I want to continue or if you want to do that particular performance testing, if you want to get do with the performance testing, is there any use of doing the performance testing for this particular 1 year, sorry, with just 5 members or 10 members? If I'm just doing with the performance testing with only 10 members or 20 members, is there any use of that? Yes or no? No, right? So there is no use at all. So performance testing, the meaning is you have to continue with hundreds of users here. You have to continue with hundreds of users, thousands of users. So hundreds of users, thousands of users you have to continue. Then only you can go with that particular performance testing. Now, assume that for doing that particular performance testing, having that many hundred of having this particular real users, is it possible? At the time of testing, we are talking about. You want to test that project, you want to test your application, how the application performance has been done by taking with that particular 1,000 users here. So to test the application with 1,000 users, if you want to get test with the application with that particular 1,000 users, is there any use of that? No, right? So here there is no use of that by doing just 10 or 20. It's huge number you will be doing. But getting that many real users, is it possible? Possible or guys? No, right? So not at all possible. So getting any that particular hundreds of thousands of real users, which is not like in a very easy here. So because of that particular reason, which you will be taking with the help of that particular virtual users here. You will be creating that particular perspective of virtual users. So how you will be creating with the virtual users? You will be creating that particular virtual users by taking with the help of the tools. That is what we will be taking with that particular JMeter, or which you will be taking with load runner, which you will be taking with that particular JMeter, or you will be taking with load runner as an example. So in a market, still we are having lot of other tools also there, but most of the time the people will be discussing about these two things here. So one it will be taking with JMeter and one it will be taking with load runner. So that particular tool. Now see the concept here. How exactly the testing or accessing the application done by the real users, the same thing already done by the tool. You're replicating with the help of the tool. Real user has been replaced by the virtual user. So that is how exactly the concept of AI came into the picture. So here, definitely in some cases, we will be having situations where which will not be possible to do really with the real users here because, okay, so because of that particular reason, it will be taking with the help of this particular aspect of the virtual users. Now, the extent of that particular one, you are adding AI intelligence here. So to understand that particular AI concept, just how AI came into the picture, the best example you can go with the performance testing. Like having that many real users, original users is never possible. So because of that, you are making virtual users. How the real human will be doing the same thing you are replicating with the help of the virtual users. That is how AI concept also came into the picture. So while working that particular AI also, as a human being, what will be doing it? The same thing. As a human being, what are the things will be doing it? The same thing done by this particular aspect of AI. Now, if I just consider this particular AI testing, the very first understanding in a market or in a social media, when confusion has been created, saying that learn with the AI testing and you will get in a job. Most of the people are suggesting and guiding to the people in simple saying that learn that particular AI testing, you will be getting in a job. Please be very clear, guys. Please be very clear. By learning only AI testing, you never get in a job. There is no chance to get in a job. Okay. So as simple as by learning only AI testing, you never get in a job. It's mandatory that your profile should be manual, automation, and AI. Manual testing, automation testing, AI testing. So these three are mandatory here. Okay, so then you can expect with the interview call, whether you will get in a job or not, that is a secondary. But as part of this current market, it's mandatory that you have to go with these particular three combinations here. Manual and then automation, then you will be taking with AI. So for now, our target in understanding these particular AI. So if I'm just taking with this particular aspect of AI, again divided into two things here. So that particular AI, which has been divided into two things here, that I will be mentioning that particular two things. AI for testing. Another one, AI tools testing. So that particular AI testing divided into two things here that it will be mentioned that it will be taking with these particular steps and it will mention that AI for testing and AI tools testing. Okay, so here AI for testing is nothing but this is what our first understanding. our first main priority, main importance is which we need to be get understand that using AI. Using using AI in our regular, right, regular testing job role. So in the regular testing job role, how we can use, or we can say that best tester. Tester job role, how exactly we can use this particular aspect of AI. So that is what we'll be discussing in the concept of AI for testing. In the same way, we will be taking with AI tools testing. Now, because of that particular AI tools, the first in the very starting days of our IT market, we got that particular aspect of, right? So in a very starting days of that particular one, which I will be taking with this particular step. So we mentioned that I will be taking with these particular steps, right? So here, like starting days, first we got desktop, that is Windows based applications. Then we started testing with web applications. Then we tested mobile applications. In the same way, we can continue these particular AI applications also, or we can test with the AI tools here. So how you will be able to test with the AI tools as usual? You will be taking with the concept of manual testing in implementing that particular STLC. So you have to complete even AI tools also. Like you want to test with the ChatGPT, if you want to test the ChatGPT manually, or you want to test the cloud manually, the same steps has been applied. You will be taking with manual testing, you will be taking with the steps of STLC. In the same way, you will be taking with automation testing. Automation testing, as usual, you will be taking with the help of Playwright API, which you will be taking with the help of that particular Playwright API. So we can go with functional testing also, but mainly you will be taking with that particular Playwright API. So that is what I will be mentioning that I will be taking these steps here, which I will be taking with Playwright API here. And after that, I will be mentioning that because of AI, we got one more option, LLM model, or which I will be saying that LLM model. LLM model testing. Or sometimes in simple, the people will say that in mentioning that LLM testing here. So that is how we got an option. So while working AI tools also, if you want to be get tests with that particular tools, if you want to just test that particular tools, which it will be taking with the help of manual testing, automation testing, and which it will be taking with that particular LLM model testing here. So how we have to do all these things, it will take some time. As part of our program, first we have to complete AI for testing, and after that we'll be taking with AI tools testing here. So as part of this particular AI for testing, as part of this particular AI for testing, you will be mentioned that you will be taking with these steps here. So what are the steps we have to understand, which we will be taking with AI powered manual testing. And after that, we will be taking with AI powered, right? AI powered automation testing. Okay, so just on a high level I mentioned, but in detail we'll be discussing about lot of other concepts has been there, which I will be taking with that particular tools, GitHub Copilot, Agentic AI, prompt engineering, designing AI agents, nothing but developing AI agents. So lot of things need to be done, which it will take some time to complete these particular AI concepts here. Okay, right. So this is what you will be mentioning that your first understanding to go with this particular AI concept here, which you will be mentioning that you will be taking with that particular AI steps here, right? Okay. So now let's get go with AI for testing. So we need to start AI for testing here before getting started with that particular AI, okay, which I will be taking with that particular AI for testing, the practical one. First, we need to begin to understand some regular terminologies related to that particular AI. So which I will be taking that particular terms. Let's see that. Okay, right. Which will be taking with the easy understanding, will be taking with the human being parts. As part of human being, we have a different parts. In the same way, it will be taking with AI parts. But rather than saying the parts, technical terminology, it will be taking with components. Okay. So which I will be taking with that particular aspect of components here. As simple, which I will be taking with human being. That particular human being, we need to be get start in comparing that particular AI parts. Then you will get in a more clear picture how we Is it audible? Right. So we got that particular AI components are there, which we can say that AI components, that main components we are having, sub components we are having. In detail, I will be discussing in the tomorrow session. But for today, just I will be giving the high level. For today, just I will be giving with the high level how exactly we can go with these particular sessions here. Right. Okay. So let's see that. Let's look into that. So how exactly we can go with these particular sessions here. Right. Let's see that. So if I just go with this particular perspective of human being, if I just go with this particular perspective of human being, as a human being, the very regular one and the common things it will be taking with, we can mention that brain, and then it will be taking with eyes, and which it will be taking with language, and it will be taking with the hands, then it will be taking with this particular experience, right? So if I just go with this particular one, these are very main components here, which I will be taking with the very most important components here. It will be mentioning that brain, and then it will be taking with the eyes, which I will be taking with the language, and then it will be taking with that particular experience here. Right now, the same thing, it has been replicated with the help of the AI. So as a human being, how we are having different type of parts are there. As a human being, how exactly we got in a different type of parts are there, which it will be taking with, it will be having this particular aspect of AI. Now, see that in a human body, brain is very most important. So, how exactly the brain is important and what exactly the brain has been doing? So, what exactly that particular brain has been doing? The same thing it has been done with. That particular same, it has been done with the AI, that it will be taking with machine learning, which it will be taking with that particular AI, that it will be mentioned that it will be taking with machine learning here, right? So which I will be taking with that particular brain. So for the human body, how exactly that particular brain is very most important, which I will be taking with that particular machine learning here, right? Then you will be taking with this particular perspective of eyes. If I'm just taking with the eyes as part of this particular AI, we got a component which it will be taking with this particular computer vision, which it will be taking with this particular perspective of computer vision. Then it will go with that particular language. As part of AI, we got an option that it will be taking with NLP. So that particular NLP, we are mentioning that natural language, natural language processing here. That particular NLP, which it will be mentioning that natural language processing. So like we are the human beings. As a human being, we are working that particular human languages. In the same way, as a human beings, how we are taking with human languages, in the same way, while working this particular NLP also, which I mean the AI also, it will be taking with that particular natural, which it can say that that particular NLP languages, natural language processing. Then it will go with that particular perspective of hands-on. So that particular perspective hands is which is equal to this particular robotics. Like how the hands is working to perform the required actions here. In the same way, that particular robotics also will be working. So that is how it will be mentioned that it will be taking with that particular robotics here. In the same way, finally, it will be taking with that particular experience that it will mention that it will go with expert systems, which it will be taking with that particular experience. It will be taking with that particular perspective of expert systems. So this is how it will be mentioning that it will be taking with these particular respective steps here. So as part of which it will be taking with this particular one. Right? Okay, done. Now see the whole concept, guys. Whenever you are working with the AI in a human body, how brain is working, like how it will do, it can remember the things, it can give an instruction to the whole body. In the same way, see the name itself, it is clearly mentioned that machine learning. The name itself, it has been clearly mentioning that it will be taking with that particular machine learning here. So if I just go with that particular perspective of machine learning, if I just go with that particular perspective of machine learning, which it will be able to go with these steps. So the C, it is clearly mentioned, machine learning. As simple as a human being, by birth, we doesn't know anything. We went to the school, we went to the colleges, and you are taking the training and you're learning the things here. In the similar way, AI also need to be get trained it. By default, AI will not be knowing anything. So day to day, the way of the how the people are interacting, it will be learning the things here. So that is the reason when you guys cross-check your AI tools or if you're already working the chat GPT, that today you can give one question and see that what is the answer you are getting. The same question you can try for 1 week. After 1 week, you will get in a different answer. Different answer means the way of the answer what it has been provided, you will be able to see some difference in the description. Because day to day, whatever asking and what it is giving, it will be remembering it and it will be learning the things here. And it will be taking with these particular eyes. For AI, eyes are which is equal to computer vision. That is what the best example. All you guys have been using that particular mobile. In mobile, you will be taking with that particular fingerprint, right? So which you will be taking with to unlock your mobile, you will be using the face recognition. So when you're kept in a face lock, you will be keeping in a face lock, right? So it's hard to read your face and then it will unlock your mobile. So which you will be taking with that particular computer vision. And how we are communicating, how we are communicating with this particular one of, it will be taking with this particular step. In the same way, it will be taking with this particular perspective of NLP, natural language processing. As a human being, we got in a different type, right? So how we got any similar languages for the human being, like Telugu, Hindi, English, Hindi, in a similar way, while working these particular AI also, you will be taking with these particular languages here. So this is what you will be mentioning that you will be taking with this particular step, that you will be taking that particular NLP. Then you will be taking with this particular aspect of robotics, which you will be able to go with that particular hands. That particular hands are equal to that particular robotics, which you will be able to go with that particular aspect of robotics here. And then you will be taking with that particular expert system, which you will be taking with this particular step, that you will be taking with expert systems here. So in this way, you will be able to go with this particular step, that you will be mentioning that you will be taking with machine learning, computer vision, which you will be taking with NLP, and you will be taking with robotics, which you will be taking with expert systems here. Right? So this is how it will be mentioned that it will be taking with these particular steps here. So this it will be taking with this particular one, which it will be having this AI component. This is just in a basic introduction, guys. In detail, we have a lot of main components or their sub components or there that we have to understand, that we'll be discussing it. Now, to understand these particular components still in easy way, you can take an example of that particular aspect of self-driving car, which you will be taking with the example. So that you will be mentioning that you will be taking with example of self-driving car. Okay, so if I just go with that particular self-driving car, see that how it has been applied that particular AI and how it has been used this particular AI. Now, if I just go with this particular step, which I will be mentioning that I will be taking with this particular aspect of AI. First, I will be taking with the first option, car has to see that particular roads. If I just go with this particular one, the car has to see the road here. And then it will be taking with that particular car need to be get understand that particular rules. So that particular car has to see the road, and which it will be taking with that particular car need to be get understand with the rules here. And along with that, it will be taking with which it will be taking with the car. It will be mentioning that which it will be taking with listen to voice. So that particular car, it's need to be get listen to the voice. Car has to see the road, and that particular car has to understand the rules, and that particular car has to listen to voice. Car has to listen to voice. Okay. Then you will be taking with that particular aspect of car moves, which you will be taking with that particular car move. Then you will be taking with that particular car. You will be mentioning that you will be taking with beside that particular best path, which you will be taking that particular car decide best path. So these are the steps we got, which I will be taking with car has been seeing the road, car has been understanding the rule, and car listen to voice, and car has to move it, car decide that particular best path. Okay, So if I just go with this particular one. Now for these particular things, how exactly this particular AI has been applied. So how exactly this particular aspect of AI has been applied. I will go with this particular one, which I will be mentioning there, which you can say that this particular, how exactly this particular AI has been applied here. This particular one, car has been seeing with the road, it will be taking with computer vision. It will be taking with this particular computer vision. Then it will be taking with this particular machine learning. Car has been seeing the road means how it will be able to see the road with the help of the AI component of computer vision. Then it has to be able to understand the rules. How it has been able to understand the rules, which it will be taking with machine learning, which I will be able to take with that particular aspect of machine learning. That particular car understand with the rule that it will be mentioned there. It will be taking with machine learning. Okay, then it will be mentioned that car has to listen to voice, which I will be able to go with that particular aspect of the car, that particular car listen to voice. So how it will be able to get listen with the voices which it will be taking with that particular NLP. Mention that it will be taking with natural language processing, which I will be mentioning that natural language processing, which I will be taking with that particular aspect of NLP, which I will be mentioned that I will go with this particular step. Thus, I will be mentioned that I will be taking with this particular aspect of NLP. Okay, then you will be mentioning the, you will be taking with this particular aspect of car has been moved. So if I'm just taking with that particular aspective car, so that particular aspective of that particular car has been moving. So we'll be mentioning that it will be taking with this particular aspective of robotics, which I will be taking with that particular aspect of robotics. Here, to move that particular car, I will be taking with that particular aspect of robotics here. Then that particular car has to decide best path, which it will be mentioned that it will be taking with expert system. It will be taking with that particular robotics, which it will be able to go with that particular expert system. So if you look into the self-driving car, in that particular aspect of self-driving car, this is how you will be able to go with these particular steps here. So which I will be able to go with, thus I will be mentioning that I will be having these particular steps here. So if I just go with this particular example, it will be mentioned that car will be seeing the road. For that, it got a computer vision. Car understanding with the rule that it will be taking with machine learning. Car has to listen to voice that it will mention that natural language processing. And then which it will be taking with that particular car has to move, it will be taking with the robotics, and car has to decide the path export system. So in this way, it will be able to get understand how exactly AI has been introducing in this particular market. Like we are already having self-driving car. So how that particular self-driving cars are working. So that particular self-driving cars are working. It will be taking with these particular steps here. So in this way, it will be mentioned that it will be taking with these particular steps here. Right? So this is how it will be mentioned that it will be having these particular steps here. Right? Okay. So then you will be taking with this particular step, which you will be having this particular step, and now it will be mentioned that it will be taking with these things here. Okay. Still, to get in a more understanding, whenever you are considering with the car, if you want to drive in a car, if the car has to move it, it is mandatory that we require a fuel. So without having that particular petrol or diesel, of course, now we got an electric vehicles, that is a different. But in general, if you want to move that particular car, that particular petrol or diesel, that particular fuel is mandatory here. Okay. Then in the same way, for every car, it's need to be get followed that particular aspect of rules. So whenever you are driving that particular car, it's need to be get follow that particular rules here. And along with that, day to day, even that particular car also, it's need to be get improved that particular car performance. That particular car performance need to be get improved on day-to-day basis here. And along with that, you will be taking with that particular last one, which you will be mentioning that you will be taking with these particular steps. Now, when it's come to this particular AI, if I'm just taking with this particular AI, the fuel is equal to the data for any kind of that particular AI tool. It can be any kind of that particular AI tool. That particular field is like related to that particular aspect of data, which I will be taking with that particular aspect of data here. Right? Then he will be taking with the rule, which he will be mentioning that. He will be taking with the rule that he will be mentioned that, like for that particular AI, which he will be mentioning that algorithm, which he will be taking with this particular step, that he will be mentioning that he will be taking with these steps of algorithms. Okay. And after that, he will be mentioning that he will be taking with that particular learning process, which he will be taking with that particular aspect of learning process. So that particular learning process is which he will be taking with this particular model training, or which we can say that LLM model training. What is mean by that particular LLM? How you will be taking with the meaning of model training, that you will understand. For today, the best example maybe you are already seeing in the news channels, social media, YouTube and Instagram. So in the current market, like every non-IT employee, including with the housewife, plumber, electrician, carpenter, all the non-IT related people, whatever the work they are doing, whenever they are doing the work, they are attaching one AI device on top of their head, and then they are doing their work. Further, they are getting earning amount also. Just because of keeping the AI device on their particular head, they are earning the amount also, because whatever the work they are doing, all that particular work has been captured by AI. That is what the AI is getting trained. Did anyone see this kind of videos? So in the news channels or in the social media, you are able to see that. So whatever that particular non-IT related works has been there, so as that particular things it has been done, which it will be taking with these particular steps here. Right? So this is what I will be mentioning, that I will be taking with these particular steps here. Right? Okay. So that it will be mentioned that LLM model training. Then you will be taking these particular AI tools from day to day. It's need to be get go with. It has to optimize their particular answers here. For example, today, whatever the answer it has been provided, by today, whatever the answer it has been provided, it will be taking with this particular step, which I will be taking with these particular respective steps here, which I will be mentioned that I will go with these statements. Like by the first week, I mean, today you can ask some question, see the answer. Tomorrow also ask the same question. Day after tomorrow also you can ask the same question. After 1 week, you can ask the same question. Definitely, you will be able to see some difference in that particular results here. Because that particular AI tool, they will be taking with that particular aspect of optimization. So that particular AI tool, they will be taking with that particular aspect of optimization. Optimize means the answer will be reduced without having the duplications here. So that is what I will be taking with this particular aspect of optimize. But here, related to the testing, you are not doing anything here. Just you have to get an overview of how this AI concept came into the picture and the basic components here. By tomorrow, still you will be getting the more clear picture about these things here. The whole tomorrow session, I'll be discussing about that particular AI, key components and sub-components. Along with that, we'll be discussing about the concept of RAG overview. We have to understand that particular RAG overview, that we'll be discussing it. And after that, I'll be taking into the practical. So before getting started into the practical, which I will be able to go with these particular steps here. So in this way, I will be mentioning that I will be taking with these particular steps here. Right? So this is how I will be mentioning that I will be taking with these particular respective steps here. So just you can go with referring these particular components here. Tomorrow I will be understanding in more detail here. Okay? Clear everyone? Right. Any questions? You guys can carry on your questions. All the online students, in case of any questions, you can carry on your questions. All right. No more other questions, right?
Hi, sir. I have a query on database testing only that
Yeah.
we discussed yesterday.
Mm.
I'm aware of something as MongoDB.
Correct.
You should be aware. So, how exactly is that, and how can we do work on that using this test
So
playwright?
these are all the different type of the database. Now when I compare with the languages, we have in a Java, we have a Python, right? And we have a .NET. So how we got in a different type of languages? In the same way, in a market, we have in a different type of the databases. So we done with the Oracle database. We have an Oracle. We have in a MongoDB, and we got in a Sybase, right? And then we have in a Hadoop. We have in a big data. These are all the different type of the databases here. But here, your main concern, I mean, as a tester, our main thing is it can be any kind of the database. Database can be anything, but how exactly we can retrieve the data from the database? So to retrieve the data from database, what kind of query statements we have to write it, that particular syntaxes we have to get comfortable.
Okay. One more thing is like I heard it's like unstructured data, right? So it's not in the table format and all. So
So
the
we are
queries
not
and
worried. I
all
mean,
will not
see,
be.
so in that case, we'll be taking with a different type of the query statement. As a tester, we are not worried about all those things here. Our objective is just to confirm that whatever the data we are entering UI of the application, that particular data has been storing in the proper database table or not. So at that particular time, how we'll confirm that? We'll retrieve the data and then we'll be confirming that yes, I entered the data from UI, the same data has been saved in the database table. That will be our job role here. Okay.
Okay. So the TypeScript will be supporting all of these like structured and non-structured databases also.
For
Like we
TypeScript,
have
that
to
is
perform.
doesn't have any connective. TypeScript just it will execute the query statement only.
Okay.
Yeah, we can connect. See, now I given the database details of username, password, and then connection details have been provided. In the same way, to connect that particular MongoDB, that respective of dependencies you have to install. I installed npm install Oracle. In the same way, related to the Mongo, you have to install it. Then in the VS Code, you will be getting with the libraries related to the MongoDB. Then you will be writing the TypeScript program to connect that particular MongoDB and retrieve the data from that particular database.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you, sir. And
right.
one more thing I wanted to ask, like in a database like the earlier one, the Oracle DB, when we are executing the whole set of data will be retrieved, right? Like not in the row by row.
That will depends on how we are writing the query statement, right? When you are writing in case we applied the where condition, when you are applying the where condition related to that particular where condition, whatever the record is matching, it will print only that particular row. It's totally depends on how we are writing with the query statement. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Next. All right, guys.
Hello,
Yes.
sir. I wanted to know the TypeScript class was only for 19th August or it is continuing?
No, no. Repeat the question.
Uh, the TypeScript class was for only for 19th August. It is always at 9 a.m.
No,
or
no, no.
p.m.
9 p.m. on the daily basis. That is for 1 month duration of the program.
9 p.m. Right?
Right. 9 p.m. 9 p.m. IST.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Right. All right, guys. Take care about the things. Meet you tomorrow then. Thank you.